Hey everyone, Jason here, digital marketing consultant, and in this B2B content marketing guide, you're going to learn the 5 foundational principles of successful B2B content marketing and hopefully ease your mind when it comes to all of the overwhelm you're dealing with while you're trying to figure out this content marketing thing. So a timestamp table of contents is in the description along with 2 other videos that are going to be very helpful as you put together your own content plan, including a full walkthrough of how to put together a content sales funnel, as well as come up with an evergreen content strategy. I'll be referencing those as we go through these 5 principles. Now, the very first principle is to throw logic out the window. Well, kind of, right? When it comes to B2B sales, specifically creating content for B2B, for some reason, a lot of marketers and business owners seem to throw that conversational tone out the window and start using business talk as if you're in a boardroom. And you really don't want to do that at all, because at the end of the day, you're still selling to people. Just because this isn't B2C and this is B2B doesn't mean you're selling to a completely different type of person. Emotions still play a huge role in the buying decision-making process. So when you're coming up with your content, no matter what type of content you're creating, you want to make sure that you're still using not only a conversational tone, but you're also ensuring that you're not speaking as if the other person is only using 100% logic to make their decisions. At the end of the day, we would think that other professionals and business owners are only thinking logically when they make purchasing decisions for their business or company. But at the end of the day, we're all humans. Emotions play a part in almost everything that we do, and that's true for your business customers as well. So just make sure you keep a conversational tone as if you're talking to someone at a coffee shop, not like you're making some negotiation or pitch in a boardroom. Now, the second principle of success when it comes to B2B content marketing is going to be problem-centered. And this means all of the content that you create should be designed as a how-to post to help someone achieve a problem. Or solve a problem that they're dealing with. Now, there are lots of other different types of content that you can do, but when specifically it comes to B2B and generating leads, how-to content tends to perform the best. And why? Because you're simply not only just talking about how great you and your business are, you're actually demonstrating that you can be helpful and valuable before you start asking to do business with them or pitch your product or service. Now, I'll link up in the cards and the description to a super deep dive video that will actually walk you through 2 other types of content you can make as well, whether you're doing a podcast, a video like this one, or just doing blog posts, that will actually walk you through a strategic process of not only choosing the right types of search phrases and keywords so your content ranks, but also how to actually make good how-to content. So I'll link that up in the description. It will walk you through that entire process. But principle number 2 here, in summary, is to just make sure that your posts are actually valuable and problem-centered, because when you focus on problems and solving problems for your ideal customer, you're demonstrating your value and you're building rapport before you even start your sales process. It's a much better position to be in when you ultimately start asking for their contact information to start your sales process. Anecdotal information just isn't going to cut it here when it comes to B2B content marketing. Now, there is a lot of pushback I tend to get when I bring up principle number 2, and this is where principle number 3 comes in. Because in order for your content to actually be valuable and demonstrate your worth and build that rapport and goodwill that you need, it actually needs to solve a problem, which means you can't hold any golden nuggets back. Now, I'm not saying you have to give away the farm here. You don't have to share your proprietary processes. You don't have to share your own data or things that you have put a lot of sweat equity into learning. That's not what I'm trying to say at all. We do a bunch of YouTube ads tutorials here, and we don't share our personal campaign structures or our personal numbers, but we do make sure that when we create those videos, we give the viewers everything they need to be successful without straight up just saying, hey, copy exactly what we've spent tens of thousands of dollars figuring out. That being said though, you should never go into creating a piece of content with the assumption that, hey, you know what, when we get to step number 6 or 7, I'm just going to casually drop in here. You can only do this step if you have our service or our software, because then the entire piece of content is going to be seen as disingenuous. Now, it is okay to show examples of your product or service throughout a how-to guide, and you're still giving away the information, but just a quick check, make sure that every piece of content that you create for your B2B lead generation, someone who's going through it would actually be able to solve the problem that you're helping them solve without having to purchase something from you. If it doesn't pass that test, then it's not going to be a good piece of content to use. And don't worry, there are plenty of people out there who would never buy from you anyway. Your ideal customers, if you don't have an ideal customer, I'll link up in the cards in the description to a video that walks you through how to put together an ideal customer avatar. But your ideal customer is not looking to do everything themselves. There are tons of DIY people who just want the answer so they can go try it themselves. Obviously, that's not your ideal customer. So you don't have to worry about creating a piece of content and thinking, oh, people won't do business with us anymore. That's definitely not how it works at all. Now, the fourth principle of success, we're gonna go ahead and turn inwards because you need to focus. And that's gonna be the fourth principle here. Now, when I say focus, I mean focus on one platform and one medium. Yes, there are tons of big businesses and influencers that seem to post multiple times a day and they're posting everywhere. But no one starts off like that unless you're just sitting on a few $1,000s a month you can throw at this and you already have a talented team. Great, you can try it. But for the other 99% of business owners and sales managers, you need to focus on just one platform. So we're gonna do a quick rundown, but I'll link up below in the cards in the description to a video that will help you choose your mediums. But here are the three mediums you can choose from. The first one is of course going to be video. I think this is the most powerful, similar to a video like this. And of course it's going to be YouTube. Number two is going to be podcasts. So you're just doing a podcast, whether it's just you talking, you and someone in your company, or you're doing interviews if you really want to get fancy. And then you're posting that to iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and any place else that you can, like Spotify. And then finally, we're gonna have the good old proven but true blog post, and that's of course going to be on a WordPress site that you own. Now, I've listed these in order of importance. I think if you're just getting started with your B2B content marketing, video is still a tremendous opportunity just because a lot of people don't wanna get on camera, and for good reason. It's kind of awkward, right? No one is really just wakes up one morning and goes, you know what? I'd really like to make videos, right? So, but the good news is the equipment isn't going to be something that's going to get in the way, especially if you have a phone that's been made in the past 2 years. So I'll link up in the description and the cards to a video that actually goes through how to do YouTube content marketing if you're interested in learning more about video. Now, the real reason you need to focus here is because creating content is a lot harder than most marketers and business owners would lead you to believe. And so what you want to do is become really good at one medium and one platform. And then when you have the budget, after you're starting to get all those new leads and customers, you can start delegating the syndication and repurposing of the content to other platforms. And this is a quick chart that you can take a look at just to show you how easily any piece of content, whether it's a podcast, a video, or blog post, can be transformed into a different medium or syndicated across other social media platforms. And the prices at the top are approximately how much you could expect to pay per post for an expert to get this done for you. Now, the final key to success number 5 here when it comes to B2B content marketing is of course going to be consistency, because content marketing is not an overnight thing. Something I really like about pay-per-click advertising with Google and Facebook is we throw a couple $1,000s at it and 24 to 48 hours later, we have our answer and we either have some customers or we have some campaigns to fix. Content marketing, not as fast, right? It's gonna take 3 to 6 months to start to see any sort of traction, and then 6 months to a year to actually start seeing this being something as a actual revenue generating activity. It really does take that long in order to be successful. This channel is a perfect example where it took almost 2 years before we consistently started getting leads from this YouTube channel with videos like the YouTube ads tutorials that I talked about earlier, or our Google ads or Facebook ads tutorials. But there is light at the end of the tunnel, and it really does make a huge difference when you can have content like your videos, your blog posts, or your podcasts out there working for you day in and day out in an evergreen fashion, bringing in new leads and customers, and of course, building goodwill and rapport. And you're going to get much better leads from people who've gone through your content than those who simply just saw an ad one time and then enter their name and email on a landing page. There's a much longer warm-up process with that side versus what we're doing here with B2B content marketing. So hopefully that eases your mind a little bit, especially number 4, just focus on one platform. Don't try and be all over the place. If you got some value value out of this video, go and hit that like button, subscribe for more marketing tutorials and tactics strategies just like the ones covered in this video. Make sure you check out those links in the descriptions to putting together your content marketing funnel, a YouTube content guide if you want to do video, and of course a full-blown video on how to actually make the B2B content to bring in those new customers. So until the next, hit that like button, subscribe, and keep building the business you love.